Last question. And this is, so you come into Globe. How do you change a culture of stability and the former leader? And I've had a little bit of experience with this. Most of the times when you are big and you were number one or the only one there, it's tough to change an idea, a feeling of entitlement. What culture are you creating now to give the customers the experience that you're talking about?
Well, we actually listen to our people at all levels. It's very important. I'll give you maybe a good example to give you is a program we have at Globe called the Customer First Circles. This is where people at all levels of the organization, from a store frontliner up to the CIO, for instance, can sponsor projects that all are geared towards improving the customer experience. And imagine a frontliner in a store being able to propose a change to the overall company policy.
Is that really?
It's really happening. And it's very powerful because people feel very involved with what's going on. Right? So that's the first thing we do, is try to empower all the way from the bottom. The other one is continuous engagement with the employees. I travel around the country to talk to people. I go around with them to the sari-sari stores and to the changes and the palenques, to see merchandising, to visit, to check. Because to show that it's important to be with the consumers and understand the consumers. As a matter of fact, we were just in Davao this weekend, doing the same thing. Right? And also reaching out to our people in regular town hall meetings, right? And talking to them, as difficult as it is, having a lot of full schedule in Metro Manila and still having to go north, go south. Sometimes you do it all in one day, but it really makes a whole lot of difference, right? The result is very gratifying because this year Globe, in its recent employee survey, we broke an all-time high in terms of our employee engagement. It's never been higher. Right? And it's something that I truly believe in because given the amount of challenges that we're asking our people to solve, right, from a normal business as usual standpoint, and then on top of that we pile on the transformation efforts, without an engaged employee base, you won't be able to do it. Right? But what's good thing about Globe is that the engagement level is so high that you don't really need to push people that much for them to get it done. And I'll give you another example. The iPhone 5 launch, which is a tremendous success for us, right? Where at 10 o'clock at night, we had 1,000 people still waiting because the demand was so high. And our people stayed until every person in our fourth distribution area got served. And they did not go home until 4 a.m. And again, we did not even have to say, everybody stay. They just stayed. Because they love the company, they want to make sure that the customers are served before they actually went home. And they've been there since 4 a.m. So it's almost 24 hours as well. Around the clock, they were there. Amazing group of people we work with.
It's a thankless job in the consumer industry. Actually, if you look at it, my last question for you is moving forward, you've talked about a $700 million expansion plan. When does it end? When are we looking at it? And then your challenges ahead?
Well, the full completion of that will be sometime towards the third quarter of 2013 because there are multiple phases, as I mentioned. The like-for-like, the transmission, which is the fiberization, the new sites, and then we're also greening the sites because we want to save a lot of power. Right? For instance, we're removing air conditioning and a lot of the sites that don't need it anymore. And if there is air conditioning, we're minimizing the use of it through the use of free cooling. Right? That's all going to happen and complete towards, I think, third or fourth quarter of 2013. Right? So the challenge will be keeping up with the demand. We do think that while this network is good, it's good for maybe 2 or 3 years.
Correct.
And then we're going to have to continually upgrade. The challenge with upgrading is keeping your profitability up so that you can continue to upgrade. Right? However, as we all know, the broadband revenue stream is not as profitable as the old voice and SMS. So we'll have to do a lot more broadband revenue to deliver the kind of service moving forward and keep evolving the network moving forward.
And it would be good for the Philippines. So right now we're talking about roughly for internet penetration is only at 35%. When do you see that moving?
I think you will start to see that really improve this coming year.
This year,
yes.
Because they'll come in through mobile.
Yes, a lot of the people are still experiencing the internet through the internet cafes today.
Correct.
And,
70% through internet
that's right.
cafes.
And if you think about that, we all thought they were going to go into netbooks and PCs and stuff, but I think we're going to bypass that because the new handsets are now as powerful as your PCs, right?
So do you think we can get 70% penetration rate or higher than that within the next year? Is that
I don't think we'll
possible?
get there in 1 year. It'll take probably, my own estimation, 3 to 4 years to get it there. It's a lot, it's a big number.
Yes.
To move from the 20% number today of smartphone penetration all the way up to that 70 that you're looking for. Because even the 20, not all are on data, right?
Yes, correct.
Today,
Can you bring internet prices lower, access to internet? Can you?
We believe with LTE, the cost of delivering that megabyte of data can be brought lower. But then again, the handset is expensive.
Correct.
So it's a kind of balancing act that we do. Although today we don't have, our pricing is not that far off from most countries. Now, if you look at the US, it's one of the more expensive countries, where a data plan is about $50, right? Here
So
in the Philippines, our unlimited data plans are $25.
In fact, though, the criticism is that you gave away early, both telcos gave away early to the part that actually will be changing the future, to the access for it. The US in 2010 moved to access through mobile for the internet, and you think for us it's going to be 3 to 4 years down the road?
Yes, it's because of the handset prices. I think for the US, the iPhone changed the way people did things. iPhone and apps, right? Where the apps allowed you to do much more on the mobile. Banking, airline, hotel, reservations, for instance, all can be done now in the US. Today, it's coming in the Philippines. Like I said, we're doing movies to begin with, right? And soon we'll be doing restaurants, and we'll be doing other things on your mobile
I think
phone.
life will change. Life as we know it will be so different depending on how fast you guys can do what you need to do. Your last thoughts, Ernest. I mean, I know we covered so many things, and this is a particular juncture point for telcos in our country. What are moving forward, your biggest challenges? Last thoughts?
Well, the biggest challenge actually is, number one is expectation, setting the consumer expectation. There are ads that have gone out that, give the impression that drop calls will never happen or should never happen. But a function of this technology is that it is radio.
Yes.
There is going to be a concrete wall between you and that cell site, and if you're walking past it, you're going to drop that call eventually. So maybe setting the consumer expectation that the wireless world is not the same as the wired world, right, for one. And second challenge for us is really, as I said, maintaining a company that delivers as much cash flow as needed to keep this insatiable need for capacity going. It's a very interesting industry in the sense that we are the only industry that provides, you would say, a utility type service like the internet, but we don't raise our prices yearly, if you think about it.
Yes.
People expect us to keep bringing it down, right? I don't see the price of power going down. As a matter of fact, my power bill has gone up 30-40% in the last 2 years, if you think about it, right? When you use more power, you pay more. Here people say use more, pay less. It's kind of an interesting phenomena, and actually it is not in the Philippines, but
yes,
globally.
It's globally, yeah.
Yeah, when we get together as an industry, we talk about this. Why are we like this, right? We invest in submarine cables, which are as expensive as power plants. Our networks are just as expensive, again, as any kind of power generating, whether it's green or traditional, right? And yet, we have to bring pricing down every year, right? Yet, people expect it to be unlimited, right?
So do you have to find a new business model?
Probably do, as one, and also change the way the public thinks about our services. It's not free to provide 1 megabyte of internet.
Correct.
It's not it's not free to provide 1 kilowatt of power or a liter of water through that pipe, right? There is a cost to it, and that cost, while it's fixed in big fixed chunks, it is a cost, right? A submarine cable from here to the U.S. Is not cheap. It's thousands of kilometers of fiber optics under the sea, right? And the maintenance on that is also quite costly. So those are, to me, the challenges we face today as an industry globally. We have to make that shift towards, people appreciating and valuing what we provide more. And that's why the services on top of that, content, like you said, hyper-local type of information is going to become more important.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ernest. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Maria.
We've been speaking with Ernest Cu. He's Globe CEO and President, talking about the future and mobile. This is Maria Ressa. Continue, please. I know we've had a lot of questions coming in. Tag at Enjoy Globe. And Ernest actually has an account also. It's at Ernest Cu, although it's locked as of this point. But go send us questions. We'll try to get them answered. Thank you so much. I'm Maria Ressa.